Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to the video. There's another paid request, this time for Johnny. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, I'll try to get to it as soon as I can. And those links are down below in the info box for those who want to send them in. Johnny wanted me to do a commentary on the first John Wick film. So let's get into it. Pause at the beginning. 3, 2, 1. Pressing play. As I get some mellow yellow, put it down here so that the microphone doesn't get screwed up with the noise there. Summit Entertainment, we got Lionsgate Company for syncing. And we got another film company, Roller Coaster Thunder Road. That's a Bruce Springsteen song. Also, it makes me think of Explorers, The Thunder Road. Now, the first John Wick film, what can I say about this movie? I remember I did get to see this in the movie. I'm trying to remember if I saw this in the theater. I know I saw the second and third one in the theater. I'm trying to remember if I saw this one. I might have. It's one of those films that I was, along with a lot of others, didn't know much about. Meaning, it was very much under the radar. Because you think of the films of 2014, there's a lot of bad movies. Some good, but a lot of bad. I mean, you had the Michael Bay produced Ninja Turtles film. You had the RoboCop remake, reboot, among other movies. And then one day on the internet, I see this picture of Keanu Reeves, bruised up face, gun like this, looking absolutely badass. Sitting there going, what is this movie? Still picture John Wick, okay, that's a cool name. John Rambo, John McClane, John Matrix, John Wick. And being a fan of Keanu Reeves, back in the day, enjoying the first two Bill and Ted movies, love the film Speed, and throughout the years, have not enjoyed every film he's done. Johnny Mnemonic, I'm not big on. I really enjoyed Constantine. Really enjoyed Street Kings. Was not big on The Day the Earth Stood Still. And that's the thing, at this time, Keanu Reeves' career was not doing that great. Because, like I said, 2008, he did The Day the Earth Stood Still, which is a very boring, uninteresting remake that not a lot of people liked. You had films that went straight to DVD, how you want to put it, like Henry's Crime or whatever it's called. I mean, the last film he did was like that 47 Ronin, which was a terrible film that looked like they shot a whole movie, then they shot him, and then they plugged him into it. That's what it looked like. And that was a complete, utter bomb. Critically, commercially. So, Keanu Reeves was not in the best limelight. And so when this film was coming out, people didn't think much. Okay, Keanu Reeves. I didn't. The last big films they thought was 47 Ronin and The Day There Stood Still remake. And it's not really glorious movies, a box office bonanza. But then the film trailer came out, and it was a simple enough plot. A gift from the love of his life. This dog was killed. The dog motif definitely intrigued people. Okay, that's a bit different. And this happens to be the baddest mother on the planet. And what intrigued people most about the trailer was the way the action scenes were handled. They thought, wow, if that's the taste of it, what's going to happen next? And it showed when you had the right actor in the right part. And I think deep down there are a lot of people missing that type of old school action, or that type of action that they wanted to see, where almost that one man army quality, the ability to actually see what's going on during the action scenes, to not have shaky cam. Because that was the thing a lot of people would keep complaining about. Even if they liked a film, the shaky cam, the blah blah blah. Why do they keep doing it? And then finally someone listened and said, you know what, you're right. And then there was two directors on this. And now they've gone on to do their own things. One stayed with the John Wick films, John Wick 2, 3, and 4. The other went on to do Deadpool 2 and Bullet Train, which is films I do enjoy. I wasn't big on Time of Blonde, but again, Deadpool 2 and Bullet Train were fun. So they're two very talented directors. And they made this film where it had all the ingredients work well together. It's a good looking film. Number one. Great supporting cast. You got Ian McShane, you got Willem Dafoe, John Leguizamo's in the film a little bit later on. A wonderful villain, Michael Nyqvist, I believe is how you pronounce it. Love the he did a really good job. Sadly, that actor has passed away. I would say he is easily the best villain so far. Well, I mean, I like Mark Dacascos quite a bit. But I really liked him, so that's tough. Now I think about it. So I don't know which would be my favorite villain. My favorite physical villain would be Mark Dacascos. Favorite intellectual villain might maybe Michael Nyqvist, just his sense of humor. When he gets the phone call, he's like, oh. Just a really good actor, sadly, to see that he passed away. And when this film came out, it's not like it was a $100 million hit. It made a decent amount of money, and the word of mouth kept spreading. Have you seen John Wick? Oh, that movie's badass. It kept spreading like wildfire to a point that they garnered and made a decent amount of money, enough to do a sequel. And because people enjoyed the first one and they were curious to see the second one, people went out and saw the second. And I really enjoyed it. I know a lot of people really enjoyed it. Nowadays, there's a couple of people who say, oh, John Wick 2 is not that good. No, John Wick Chapter 2 is badass. And, some people ask me what's my favorite John Wick film. That's tough, because I like all three of them. For some reason, I might pick John Wick Chapter 2. Even though, like, the villains in the first and third, I do like more. But I don't know, something about John Wick Chapter 2, something about the finale of that film, and I'd have to think about, at least I like all three. I like all three. I think they're good trilogy of action movies, entertaining, badass movies. And like I say, it's very tough to choose which is my favorite. There's another thing that I think really worked in the film's favor, as like, if you put it in a plot synopsis, it might sound goofy, but what the way it's played out in the film is, yeah, this is a guy whose wife just passed away. We've been seeing little montages, quick ones, of this guy really loved his wife, really cared for his wife, how much he cared for his wife, dealing with that heartbreak and sorrow, and picking out a very lovable looking puppy, lovable looking dog that people could look at and go, that's very cute, that, look how great it is, look how nice it is. A very cute dog. So that we can get to the point that the bad guys, for really no reason, no good reason, it's not like any deserve, want, desire. All he says is the car's not for sale. So you can't say, oh, he egged them on, or he did this, or he had it coming. Far from it. They do each point the right way to make you feel absolutely on Keanu Reeves' side. They pick, again, a guy that many people watch and go, he seems like a cool guy, seems like a nice guy. Stories that he's one of the nicest guys in that era of Hollywood. Again, enjoying his films like the Matrix films or Bill and Ted films or Speed. Again, you feel sorry for him because his wife died. He's treating this puppy well. Very cute puppy. And even this, he's just minding his own business. Just minding his own business. That's all he's doing. He wants no trouble. He's not being a prick. He's not being an ass. He's just filling up his car. That's all he wants to do. And this guy starts everything. Really, like, Keanu Reeves does nothing wrong. He says thanks. She's not for sale. That's all he says. He's not being picky. He's not being snotty. He's not being cocky. Again, he didn't do anything. It's just this guy just picked the wrong guy. And, you know, I'm usually against the usage of so many filters, but I guess because I'm enjoying so much of the film, I go along with it's part of the style of this film. What I mean by filters is that we see a lot of blue, now we're seeing a lot of yellow. Of course, that's not natural. It's literally going into post-production, whatever. And usually I prefer having a film lit and filmed naturally, unless somehow they brought something in that just made everything completely yellow for some reason. But I guess for this kind of film, I could deal with it, and it didn't bother me as much as maybe other films. And you get the idea of this just a guy being absolutely angry what happened to his wife. And I was saying, like, all the stuff it did well. Like, it had a nice build up. You have the cute dog. He's letting the dog sleep up with him and how much he cares for it. People can relate to it. There's a lot of people have pets that consider family. Sons and daughters, they consider it quite a bit as family. Nothing about this is justified. And like I said, they get the right usage of action sequences and how they're handled. The supporting cast, I mentioned Ian McShane, I mentioned Willem Dafoe, again, the great villain, John Leguizamo. I forgot his name. The guy who was in 48 Hours and the Warriors. Warriors, come out and play. Like that guy, he's in this. And also building up this world of this of see that right there is just instantly you make the audience feel you want these guys to die. You want these guys to die. You look forward to it. So now we're in the lead character's perspective and we're behind him 100%. Again, one of the reasons why, many reasons why this film worked well and created such a big franchise now. It did everything it could to set it up the right and correct way. Even the fact here, like, the idea that these people drugged this dead body of a dog to put right in front of him, like, tells the whole story. Everybody in the audience is now 100% on this guy's side. You're absolutely 100% behind anything that he does. So that when he does go to town, when he does go haywire, you're cheering because you want him to unleash. You want him to let go. You want him to explode. You want him to completely annihilate, destroy, and decimate, which is what he's done throughout these 3 films. It's a good foundation. It's a solid foundation. Again, they set everything the right way. A sniveling weasel of a character that you can't wait to get his comeuppance. A lead character that you just feel in every step of the way. And again, this world building. It does a nice job world building where they build up. You don't need the character to talk about himself. You have other people do it. Other people talking how scary, how important, how dangerous this person is. John Leguizamo, for example, which I don't mind him as an actor, and I thought he did a great job in this. And the second film as well. Where you get that car? Whose car is that? He knows whose car that is. How people in the know respect, fear, and he's a guy you get to kill the boogeyman. Stuff like that. And then if you don't have people build you up, you're going to have to prove it. And he's definitely proven it. And you see how a lot of these people kind of have stopped and looked at this guy. See, instantly gives him a drink. And here's the thing, you guarantee that a lot of people who did this film, like, they hope they make a good movie or a fun movie. They didn't think it'd be this route. Like, John Leguizamo, think of all the bit parts he's done, whether it be with Gerard Butler and Gamer, with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Collateral Damage, with... There's a few others that I think have, like, bit parts. Executive Decision with Steven Seagal and Kurt Russell. You know, he's a guy doing a bit supporting role. And a lot of those, even though I liked Collateral Damage, I liked Gamer, they didn't really do anything, but this is the film that kind of succeeded. I like John Leguizamo's attitude. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, you see how it's a very blue. It's very blue. Again, usually I'm against such an overuse of filters, but I mean, with the world and the underground motif that this is building and the style, it works in a film like this, or maybe like Drive with Ryan Gosling. There's certain films that kind of earn or easily easy for me to swallow on that term. This is what I'm talking about the villain here. He's like, I heard you struck my son, and he's being very dangerous, and I'm going to kill you. This is the tick to his head. And he goes, well, he stole John Wick's car, and he's killed his dog. And then you see him is like, oh. I love it. That's such a great reaction where you could tell like he's ready to just completely annihilate and threaten him. And then when he heard they killed the boogeyman's dog and stole his car, he just goes, oh. I did see this in the theater because I remember that got such a reaction in the theater. Yeah, like people were laughing. Now this guy on the right, I swear I remember him from like commercials. Was it Allstate? Maybe it wasn't Allstate. I swear it was some type of... It's Dean Winters or something? I can't remember his name. But yeah, but rest in peace to this actor, Michael Nyqvist. He did such a wonderful job. Because he's such an interesting villain because of his sense of humor. Because he takes this hero seriously and with a certain fear, but respect, fear type of quality. And just how he treats just how much he knows the son completely screwed everything up. But yeah, I mean, when this came out, I mean, like I said, not a lot of people like me and other, it's like, oh, I like the trailer. And yeah, I did see this in the theater. So I always have to second guess myself because I've just seen so many films. It's hard to separate everything. It's like too many things trying to be filled in my head. But I remember like this got a few decent reactions in the theater, and that's why I said each time I want to see this in the theater. It's not what you did, son. It's who you did it to. It's John Wick. That's what that's what I was talking about. If a character's important, he doesn't need to build himself up. It's everybody else who talks about him. Like all the people that talked about John Rambo, whether it be Richard Crenna's character or even Murdoch in Rambo 2, he doesn't have to say anything. The other people do the talking for him. And now he's breaking through the wall, the floor, through in the bar with a pencil. Fucking pencil. And we got to see that in John Wick Chapter 2, how he's able to kill people with a pencil. That's some of the stuff I like in John Wick Chapter 2. I like the people, hitmen coming after him, and he's taking these guys out one by one. Or sometimes you have two such at a time. I said I love the finale of that film. Sorry, I haven't seen this film in a while. I'm just watching it blindly. I apologize for that. But yeah, John Wick Chapter 2 came out 2017. Saw that in the theater. John Wick Chapter 3 saw that in the theater as well. And I even made a sort of a, how do I put it, a pact with myself that I would not see trailers for these films before they come out after this film. So I did not see a trailer for John Wick 2. I saw the stuff when I saw it in the theater. Same with John Wick Chapter 3. I did not at all see a trailer until I saw that in the theater. And it was great. I mean, just considering how so many movies with trailers, and if you look hard enough, they give away the entire movie with interviews, features, trailers, TV spots, everything in between. And it's like, I don't want to see the entire movie before it comes out. I really don't. That's why if it's a film I'm absolutely dying to see, I'm like, screw it. I'm not going to see this until I see it firsthand experience. So this guy's trying to talk to, I guess, hopefully appease the John Wick's, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, ain't gonna be like civilized men. See, that's what I liked is that that's another line the guy laughed when in the theater when the guy asks, "What did he say?" And the bad guy says, "Enough." I remember that got some chuckles in the theater. Very interesting tattoos there. Little bit of Boondock Saints type of thing with the tattoos and the religious images. And him going back into this world. And I like the world building they did for this world. That also made it very interesting where you have to use these coins to get certain things, do certain things. How there's a hotel that's a safe haven and you're now supposed to fight at this hotel and you can't break the rules there. How you can get cleaners to clean up the dead bodies, all this stuff, as long as you got the coins for it. Just kind of just a cool backdrop of this hitman world, assassin world. And we're finally going to get a taste of what John Wick can do. We had enough of a build up, and we could see just how damn efficient he is. Why he's called the Boogeyman. It's just been so long since we saw someone like this efficient. Just pinpoint accuracy, which some people may feel is boring because where's the struggle on that when he's always getting a headshot, this and that. But at the same time, it is kind of cool to see someone like get the cheat code on and see someone just so proficient at it. Like for me, that like I said, kind of brings it back a little to the '80s of John Rambo type of stuff, where you saw the absolute professional who could do the deeds that seem incredibly crazy, but gets that adrenaline rush going. There you go. Then take the guy's hand away so that he doesn't fire at you. Use your environment against you. Always make sure they're dead with the headshot. Take control of the weapon so he doesn't hold the weapon onto you. Do some takedowns. Nope. Make sure you get that gun away from you. Nice old boom, breaking of the neck. I always thought that was a cool visceral moment, that punch downward. Do whatever I can to get that weapon away from you so you don't try to use it on me. Still a good action scene. It's just funny when now that John Wick 2 and 3 really amped up the action, this almost seems quite quaint in comparison to the next couple movies. Although I still enjoy it. Now, John Wick Chapter 4, I did not see the trailer for it. I do not want to see the trailer for it. All I know is that... wait a minute, I'll get to that in a minute. I think one of the fun bits of it. You think, is he going to shoot the cop? Is something else going to happen? But then... Evening, Jimmy. And obviously this guy knows who John is and doesn't want to mess with him. That's why he sees all this. So he definitely knows his past. Definitely knows what he's capable of and all this stuff. You working again? Just sorting some stuff out. And that right there just kind of gives your mind a bit of what was this history between him and Jimmy? Is Jimmy a cop that saw John Wick do what he did, or was he friends in the past and then became a cop? Or like, what's the whole story behind that? And it doesn't need to be told, but it's just fun to think about. It has a nice, entertaining... it's a funny bit. And he had a call for the cleaner. Now I always forget this guy's name, but he's in The Warriors, he's in 48 Hours, he's in quite a Dreamscape. Warriors, Cabal Play. I don't know why I always forget his damn name. Sadly, they did not bring him back. I mean, in the credits it said he might be in John Wick 2, but he wasn't. I think he was cut out. I do hope they bring him back for like John Wick 4. I think that'd be nice. Little thing. It'd be nice to see him again. If he was in John Wick 2, I don't remember, or it was so brief. But that's what I'm talking about. Like, you could pay for this kind of service. I mean, like, these different services of this whole backdrop of this underworld. All with gold coins. I know the guy's... I think it's 3 letters in his name. David Patrick Kelly? I think this was like David Patrick Kelly or something. Something like that. But yeah, I was talking about how like, I don't know anything about John Wick 4. Did not watch the trailer. All I know about it is apparently he uses nunchucks, which that alone is a win for me. Anytime someone uses nunchucks, it's a win for me. And number two, that apparently Scott Adkins is in the film and Donnie Yen is in the film, as well as Lawrence Fishburne coming back. Now, what all that entails and what the plot is, and I don't know, and I don't want to know. But the two things I'm worried about, well, three things. Three things I'm worried about. Number one, the director, he did an interview years ago saying that John Wick will never have a happy ending. Because he goes, well, look at him. Look at all the people he killed. He's not, what, do people really think he's going right off into the sunset? And I'm sitting there going, yeah, because people enjoy the character and you just made him the ultimate badass. So the way the director, Chad Stahelski, seemed like either he would die or he would always be on the run and it'd always be a sequel. If they ever did kill off John Wick, it'd be the biggest mistake they made because they kill off so many other characters throughout the movies. You killed off Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Captain Kirk. I mean, killed off Ellen Ripley. You killed off hell, they killed off Van Damme's character in Tip Boxer. They killed off a lot of people. Very rarely has that worked out. And people would be completely pissed. They would. They'd be completely pissed. Like, wait a minute. This guy beat all these odds, and you just going to kill him off X, Y, and Z reasons? So, more than likely, it's going to be... he's always going to be on the run and blah, 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 and it'll end that way. Which, I mean, the fact that Chad Stahelski goes, well, there's no other way to end it. I thought of the ending, and I'll tell you. He gets in a big old battle with the big old board. Complete, utter Rambo ending, but John Wick style, decimating the board. It culminates in this explosion where they think John is dead. Everybody thinks the guy's dead. But you see a dog walking through the snow. Maybe it's two dogs, maybe one dog walking through the snow, entering this cottage in the middle of nowhere, literally the middle of nowhere, walking up, and sits right next to a chair, and you see a hand go up and rub the dog's head as John sits in the chair, has a picture of his wife, sets it down, petting the dog, sits back, and breathes, whether you call it a sigh of relief or something else, one of those. And that could culminate like, he did a live job, his job is done. Like it was one long day at work. You worked here again, John? Yeah, throughout these 4 whatever films, he had one long stretch of work. And that's what you do. What's wrong with that ending? What's wrong with that? So sorry, Chad. There you go. You can take that ending for free. Because if you keep stretching John Wick films as much as I'm loving them, sooner or later you're going to get a stinker. I love all three. Some people don't like the third one. Some people don't like the second or third one. I mean, I love all three. But sooner or later, I mean, there's going to be something that's going to be a letdown in some way, shape, or form. And I said three things. That's number one, Chad Stahelski's interview. I disagree 100%. Number two, there's a lot of sequels that disappoint, that end up disappointing. It's bound to happen when you do it long enough. And number three, Keanu Reeves is getting up there with age. I mean, he did this in 2014. It's now been almost 10 years. It's been 9 years. I mean, 9 years do a lot to your body. 9 years do a lot to everything physically. 9 years is a lot of time. I mean, how much more can you really do before your age and body catches up with you? Just how it is. Just how it is. So, and the thing with Keanu Reeves is that really the only films he's done since then that were hits are the John Wick films. To think of what else he's done. I mean, as much as I like Keanu Reeves, when you look at his other films, I mean, you look at Replicas, awful. You look at Knock Knock, awful. I mean, Matrix 4, awful. Bill and Ted 3 Face the Music, I know a lot of people liked the film. I thought it was an awful sequel that negated the first two films and what Bill and Ted accomplished. And then the movie said, nah, they didn't really accomplish it. Their daughters did. What? Yeah, that's why no mention of daughters in the first two films. They just never mentioned for some reason. Oh, because there was never the plan, writers. Instead, you do a crappy remake of the first two blended together. While Bill and Ted are doing nothing on their adventures. I hate Bill and Ted 3. I think it's an awful sequel. Awful sequel. And it's why nobody talks about the film. Because it wasn't that good. But as I was talking about, like, I love the rules of this motel, this hotel, that you can't do this, can't do that. And then the supporting, I forget the guy's name, who was the concierge. I really like his performance in these movies. And I thought that it was cool to see him get into the action in the third film. I wish I could remember his name. The black guy who, again, he's like the concierge and such. And like I say, it was nice to see him. He was in that awful Resident Evil TV show that bombed badly for good reason. And like I said, Ian McShane and all this stuff here. Good cast of actors. Interesting personalities. I don't know if this lady ever came back in the other ones, this person at the bar. And yeah, you can tell they have this, like, this is the purpose. Each scene has such a unique color style. We saw blue, we saw green, now it's this blue-purple aspect. And each scene has this, like, distinct color scheme that they're going for. which I don't know they really did in the second and third one. As in the fact that this is like every scene. Well, except that bit there. But at the same time, it works. There's Daniel Bernhardt there. Now, I should mention Chad Stahelski worked with Keanu Reeves on the Matrix films, and I think he was a stunt double. And then Daniel Bernhardt, he was in the Matrix sequels as one of the agents. Now, of course, Daniel Bernhardt, if you know action films in the 90s, he was in a decent amount of action films, including the, how do I put it, the Bloodsport sequels. Bloodsport 2, 3, 4. 4 wasn't 4 called like the Dark Kumite or something? And he did other action films as well, but the ones I think people remember the most is the Bloodsport sequels. Well, they pretty much just did tell him to pretend to be Van Damme. And, you know, with films like this, he kind of had a little bit of resurgence where it seemed like everywhere I turned, like Daniel Bernhardt would pop up. I mean, he was in the film Nobody. He was in, I'm trying to think, that Van Damme film, Kill 'Em All, where him and Van Damme had a fight. Really, Van Damme pretty much beat him up and didn't let Daniel Bernhardt get any hits in. Which, I mean, is one of the many reasons what Kill 'Em All was bad. As much as I'm a big Van Damme fan, Kill 'Em All was pretty lame. I know I've seen Daniel Bernhardt in a few other recent films. I can't remember what they were, though. And this is Kevin Nash from Big Daddy Diesel. He was the Super Shredder in Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze. He was in The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler. And of course, he was Diesel in WWF and Kevin Nash himself as part of the NWO of WCW. Him, Scott Hall, and Hulk Hogan were the three mainstays of the NWO and WCW. I've seen some shoot interviews he's done. Seems like a very fun, interesting guy. I know there's a Kevin Nash has his own YouTube channel where there is a video where he goes through like all the films he was a part of, because the guy with him is the guy that did a lot of these kayfabe commentary things, and like he goes through the filmography of Kevin Nash, and Kevin Nash talks about the stuff he's done, and he does mention this film about as cool as like he's the guy that, you know, John Wick lets go, and technically Kevin Nash should always come back because his character did not die. It seems like there's a personal history between the two. Speaking of those strong colors, now we got a bit of red here, at least for a brief moment of time. It definitely gives off a very cool look to it. Like I said before, as much as I prefer more natural, some of the stuff might be more natural lighting, to be fair. I mean, compared to that one outside bit where it was like very yellow, but I think you get the elements of John Wick and what he can do and hide in the shadows, just how vicious he can be. Boom, right under the chin. Kind of like Thomas Jane's The Punisher that had his knife under the chin. You see the knife in the mouth. You don't see that in this, but I mean, you still get enough of that under the chin action. And like I say, is all the elements that really made it work. Where this could have been, what people labeled a direct-to-video action movie, but again, with the look of the film and the distinct lighting, even in this scene here, the way these fight scenes are constructed with a bit of this MMA type of takedowns mixed in with expert bloodshed and headshots. I did this build up of this world of this hitman type of stuff. And also just giving the audience what they want. They want to see a guy kick ass and take names. Sometimes there are quite a few people, men and women, that want to see that. And not neutered down to PG-13, not, shaky cam so you can't see what's going on, not CGI every 5 seconds. And that's really one of the few nitpicks I have, is that, a lot of the bullet hits are CGI. I really do wish they would go more for practical blood squibs. I think that would be... Again, that's one of my few nitpicks of the franchises, that they don't go for blood squibs, they go for CGI hits. I'm enjoying so much of the other parts of the film, I forgive it for that, but at the same time, I would say I do prefer it in blood squibs. Because I think it just feels more visceral. Because it's something that's actually on set and it has a sense of gravity to it. But yeah, this is like one of my favorite scenes, just going absolute town on these guys. I didn't use the gun as a weapon when he needs to reload. Trying to go 360, using whatever he can. I mean, in a way, the gun is an extension of his arm. Immobilize someone and take care of the person you haven't immobilized. And also, just not cutting every 5 milliseconds, having a lot of shots go, and the good wide shots, you just see the whole frame, the performers working. And what's great is that a lot of people, thankfully, have looked at these films and have taken inspiration and are approaching that aesthetic, and that can only make stuff better. And they've done that with Nobody. They've done that with Extraction with Chris Hemsworth. They did that with Day Shift with Jamie Foxx. Like, this is the right direction for action films. Because the shaky cam stuff, the Bourne Identity stuff, was it the Green Zone, and that was not the way to go. Some of the worst offenders was Taken 2 and Taken 3. Because the first Taken was a very good, capable action film, but Taken 2 and 3, that's because it was a different director. I mean, the director of the first one did not do the sequels, but Taken 2 and 3 were by Olivier Megaton, who did, what was it, Columbiana or something? There's Keanu and Daniel Bernhardt, sort of a rematch from, I don't know, Matrix Reloaded. And you just see like Keanu Reeves just putting in a lot of work in these films, taking the hits, taking the punches, doing well in his training, his gun training, and in this case his martial arts training. And you see the hard work pay off, in scenes like this whole set piece. Sorry about that. I mean, part of me would be interested to see another director take their shot at John Wick, but at the same time, you know, it worked well the 3 times, and if the guy keeps wanting to come back. Yeah, this guy here is the what guy I'm talking about. I really like this guy in this film. And like I said, it was nice to see him get some action and take out some bad guys in the third movie. Lance Reddick, that's his actor's name. Lance Reddick. Did not buy him as Wesker and Resident Evil, the TV show. Which, no, I did not watch the rest of it because I didn't get requested for it. No one sent in requests for the other episodes of the TV show, so, oh well. If that's the case, then I'm not going to watch it. If that ever is the case, then I will watch it. And that's the thing. If people want to send in a pay request for me, but they say, well, why didn't you continue the Chucky TV show? Why didn't you continue the, what was it, the Resident Evil TV show? Because no one requested it, so, oh well. Either they got my thought process already out of the way, or they didn't care. And like I said, if action films continue this way in terms of the action filmography, it's good hopes, good straights. All I ask is, let's get a bit back into blood squibs. I know why they don't do that, because they feel it's too dangerous. But there are easily safety precautions to take for that stuff. Here's Willem Dafoe. You think he's there to kill John Wick, but he's there to be sort of his guardian angel. Wake up, Buttercup. Now, she's not following the rules. You're not supposed to be fighting in this hotel. I talk about equal opportunity. Just because you're a woman doesn't mean take it easy. If someone's trying to kill you, it doesn't matter what's between their legs. What matters is what's between your eyes. If it's a bullet, it's no good. So it doesn't matter. So it shows that, you know, she has a bit of toughness to her, but again, John Wick's like, okay. Trying to re-break that arm, trying to hurt that arm, I should say. And they've done that, you know, in the other films as well. I mean, and this one's like, okay, I'm going to bash you around here, I'm going to punch you, I'm going to do this and that. And the second film, what's her name? How many times am I going to say, what's that name? The girl that would be Batwoman for the year, whatever, however long that show was. She was in it for a year or two. And John Wick has a fight with her, Ruby Rose, and he beat the hell out of her. Same with here, is like, I'm going to grab you. Okay, boom. Take this. 2-piece in the biscuit right through that glass. How about them apples? Uninvited guest. But again, that's what people enjoyed about this. All the whole stuff I've been talking about. It's a good foundation to build this character up. Again, in his point of view, his shoes, understanding his plight, feeling sorry for him, understand his motivation, understand his sense of revenge, the the sense of humor showcased throughout it. The world building with the coins, the hotels, the way like Lance Reddick and Ian McShane approach their characters. Just really fun and refreshing, and then with the sequels, just how are they going to deal with the action, what they're going to do with the action. Just I'm sure with this new one, like how you don't put Scott Adkins into it, how you don't put Donnie Yen into it. And then quick, efficient. No one is, his 360 turn. That's not much of a mouth for you, Padre. Especially in the church. They're quick and efficient. It's just been fun to see him utilize so many different kinds of weapons. I mean, even in there, of course, he's good with a pistol. This, I forget what kind of machine gun this is. Later on, that sort of cool looking shotgun that he has. And it doesn't go, I mean, once it gets going, it's not too long until another action scene happens. I mean, from the whole nightclub bit to even that fight with the the assassin, to even this little bit here in the church, and then you have him taking care of the bad guy's son, using the sniper rifle. You got the whole bit with the car and the shotgun. Have the bit with Daniel Bernhardt where John Wick's almost suffocated. It kind of just goes by pretty quick. As it should. Because you have this action sequence coming up where he's shooting people left and right, and then he'll be caught, and then well, you've seen the film. What am I doing? And this girl is going to break the rules. You're not supposed to kill. It's one thing that she broke the rules and trying to kill, but in this case, she is going to kill, and that's going to be her death sentence. That's another bit I like, is that Ian McShane kind of comes up and was like 4 people like shoot her in the head or something like that. You see, like 4 people came up like on both sides. Well, yeah, that would do it. That guy should have been more prepared. That guy should have definitely been more prepared for her. There's that machine gun, a bit more of that machine gun play. Again, just being so efficient, just in a way, maybe you say people kind of live vicariously through John Wick, where I'm not going to say wish fulfillment, but This kind of thing where you see a guy so badass and so efficient in his mission and what he can do that you just appreciate what he's capable of. And as someone mentioned, his will. It's just like a nice dance and choreography. Just the fisticuffs with firefights. And if it was slow mo, it'd be John Woo from back in the day. And this is where you're going to get probably the most that Keanu Reeves talks in this movie, really. People keep asking if I'm back. Yeah, I think I'm back. If you wonder what I'm doing with the phone, I'm just looking up any info. Keanu Reeves did 90% of his own stunts in the film. I buy it. Chad Stahelski was Keanu Reeves' stunt double in the Matrix films. Yeah, Michael Nyqvist, sadly he passed away. Martial arts and weapons training 8 hours per day for 4 months is what Keanu Reeves did to prepare for the role. In the original script, the character of John Wick was written with a man in his mid-60s to play the role. However, head of Thunder Road Pictures decided against this, stating, "Instead, we decided to look for someone who's not literally older, but who has a seasoned history in the film world." In an interview, Kevin Nash stated he was told the reason his character lived. Kevin Nash said that when John Wick mentions he had lost some weight and Francis stated he had lost 60 pounds, Wick was asking and told how many hostiles were in the building. Francis' reply was 60. Because he provided the information to Wick, he was allowed to live. Huh. Interesting. Didn't know about that. Lance Reddick plays a hotel concierge. The dog was a beetle pup named Andy, and he was 8 weeks old. Oh, during the safe house scene later on, the character's username displayed in the top right is Neo. I'll be on the lookout for that. Chad Stahelski is the credited director. David Leitch is credited as producer. Due to DGA regulations allowing for only one director to be credited. Let's see. Ian McShane replays Jason Isaacs as Winston. Okay. Jason Isaacs, he was in Event Horizon among other films. Let's see. John Wick was supposed to be named Storm, but Keanu loved the name John Wick so much that directors agreed to change it. Yeah, John Wick sounds a lot better than Storm. Oh, the Continental Doctor we saw earlier was the key maker in Matrix Reloaded. No wonder he seems so familiar. Let's see. Sylvester Stallone, Dolph Lundgren, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Bruce Willis, Kurt Russell, Nicolas Cage, Kevin Costner, Johnny Depp, and Jason Statham were considered for the role of John Wick. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. So either hand over your son, or you die screaming alongside him. Yep, and yeah, that's Willem Dafoe comes in to help out. Yeah, like it says here, Constantine, The Lighthouse, and Day There Stood Still had all underperformed. That's true. Like I said, his career, and then you have 47 Ronin, like, none of them were doing well at all. Now you get a bit of Keanu and Daniel Bernhard going back and forth here. It's a pretty nice choreography there. I mean, I'm no expert, so I'm not going to give details. Well, this is the move they have here. I mean, you guys can see it. Sorry, just looking at the any other info. It says here John Wick kills 77 people in this movie. So there's an alternate ending which John just simply shot Vito and killed him, but they decided to use the other version where the two men fight. Yeah, I agree that's definitely the better choice. The death of John Wick's wife made the role very personal for Keanu Reeves, considering the death of his former girlfriend Jennifer in a car accident in 2001, and gave birth to their child in 1999, but the child was stillborn. Reeves used that as an emotional influence for the role of John Wick in regard to the character's dead wife. Yeah. So this is that shotgun I was talking about. I like the look of this shotgun. It just looks unique in a way. Like I've seen a lot of shotguns, but never seen one like looking quite like this. I think because like the end of it, and I just I think just a cool, unique looking shotgun. I don't know what that's called. The first cut of the film was 2 hours and 20 minutes. $39 was cut out of the movie. John and Vito's fight was cut down after they acknowledged that Vito should not really pose a big physical threat to Wick. "12-minute long opening scenes of the film were almost 3 times longer in the director's cut. The first version of the script was titled Scorn. John was originally a much older character in the 70s. He didn't have any dialogue for the first 25 pages. His dog was originally 18 years old. Dog was last gift from his dying wife. Body count was much lower. Somewhere between 6 and 12 people died in the first draft. So one person says there's 72 killed by John Wick, plus at least one more in the car that falls in the finale. Huh. So, over 70. Over 70. We'll say that. Let me see. I might have missed it, but supposedly, was it Neo? I don't know. It's going so quick. I'd have to like pause it or something. Yeah, I'd have to. It goes so quick. I'd have to pause the to see if it does say Neo. Oof. Headshot. Oof. Let the bodies hit the floor. I just like the idea of the guy like smoking a joint because he knows that his kid's dead. So he's just smoking a joint. Like he gave his son up to save his own life, but he's just like he knows. He just knows. Let's see. See how much this movie made at the box office when it came out. $43 million in the U.S., 86 million worldwide. So thinking about that, 43 million in the U.S., 86 million worldwide. And then when you get to the second film, $92 million in the U.S. and 171 million worldwide. Then you get to the third one. $171 million in the U.S. and 326 million worldwide. That is because many people enjoy these movies. Many people liked these films. They loved what they represented. They loved what high entertainment they were. And just complete utter fun that they got from these films. Like John Wick Chapter 2 has a 7.4 on IMDb. You gotta remember, this is IMDb, so... The third film has 7.4 IMDb. What does the first one have? Guessing a bit higher. 7.6, I'm guessing. 7.8. 7.4. So every single one has a 7.4 on IMDb. Go figure. Oh, and the shotguns, or the guns he uses. The pistols he uses, the Heckler and Koch P3OL. That's definitely during the nightclub. The Glock 26 as his backup gun. The Browning High Power, which is what Willem Dafoe carried. Walter P99, which Adrianne Palicki carried. The Salient Arms International Glock 17, which Daniel Bernhardt carried. Let's see, let's look at what the machine guns were. Sorry, just looking real quick. The Kel-Tec KSG shotguns fitted with EOTech XPS2 sights in the film. John Wick later commandeers one for himself. The Kel-Tec KSG with EOTech XPST sights. Huh. And then the rifles, a Kohari Arms CA415 with a shortened barrel, EOTech 553 holographic sight, vertical grip, and Madpole P Mag several times in the film. The CA415 is an American-made clone of the Heckler & Koch HTA416. So, Kohari Arms CA415. This is the one he was using at the church and outside of the church before he got caught. And then the DTA Stealth Recon Scout is the sniper rifle he used in the scene we saw earlier. Huh. Very cool. Interesting. I mean, it's too bad that Willem Dafoe's character dies so early with this film that obviously he can't come back for the sequels, but on the flip side, no one knew that, this would be it. I'd go out on my own. You don't kill me good. I wonder what made... I mean, if you think about it, there's not a whole lot to the character other than just being loyal to John Wick. So I just wonder if there was some other... What made him say yes to this? I'm glad he did, on just sort of curiosity. So just checking some real quick. 20. Sorry, just checking some real quick. Okay, no. Sorry, I was looking at something, I misread something and completely just blanked out. Sorry about that. Here's the scene I was talking about where he and McShane don't like what she did. The membership has been, by thy own hand, revoked. Yeah. It's like 4 people just from all sides. Just completely, absolutely. And there's David Patrick Kelly again. For cleanup. Made a bad call, Ripley. Bad call. You should not have. I mean, she definitely got her comeuppance. And Ian McShane is kind of that guy that wants to help, can't let people know that he helped, but he does help. That's why I can't tell you that there's a certain person, a certain helicopter, a certain place is doing certain somethings. And yeah, there's 15 minutes left of the film. Like, it went by quick. One of the things I like about this is the villain, just how he's just dead and drunk, and he kind of like knows. It's kind of like in his mind, he knows he's probably going to die, so he's like dead and drunk and just goofing off, and or at least know that possibility could happen. Because it's a reminder of the car bit at the near the beginning of the film, him using his car. I mean, this isn't the same car. This is a different car. That car we see at the beginning of the second film. But in the scheme of things, it kind of works well because you don't get a ton of car chase scenes in John Wick. You get it here in the beginning of the John Wick 2, and then you have your gunfights, you have your fisticuffs, you even have a bit of a horse play in the third one. It does make me wonder what will be in the motorcycle stuff in the third one. Just makes you go, what the hell they going to do in the fourth one? Again, maybe they showcase in the trailer. I don't want to know. And just the idea of just not only you run the guy over, but you just shoot him as he's going up. It's just complete utter, just shoot him multiple times. Make damn sure and damn skippy they're done, dead, and finito. Crush you right where you love your car so much you don't be a piece of the car. Says on top of Michael Nyqvist coming up, it's like, you want this gun? He's like played with it. John was just being on a tear with his car. Or this car. See, he's like doing that. Good luck. Uh-oh. Ooh. There's some really nice car stunt work involved in all of this. Yeah, they did a really nice job with that. And like I said, it's kind of interesting when you watch this compare, like, you look at the second film, that big old set piece, and that sort of Enter the Dragon type of mirror, hollow mirror type of sequence, which I really enjoyed. And then you look at the third one with the whole taking out the bad guys amongst the hotel and the people dressed up in armor and just going to town with the shotgun, and then the stuff with the two henchmen, some of them from the Raid Redemption, and then Martha Costas. Such a epic finale. Each one just grows bigger and bigger and bigger. But that's the thing, you get to a certain point, you go, well, where else can you go? That means you're bound for disappointment. So that's what I mean. As much as I enjoy, you can't go on forever. You just can't. And that's also an interesting bit to have it be in the rain, because you imagine all the you have to get the water towers where you want to put it to keep it raining, and you have to keep the actors wet, but you can't have them too wet so that they get sick on you. If there's a screw up, you either warm them up a bit so again they don't get too sick or anything in between. In a weird way, it seems like sometimes you think maybe it should be reversed, like the young kid try to fight John Wick, and since he's the one that killed the dog and started this anyway. But at the same time, this is to me the better actor, and so on that front it makes sense. Ooh, break of the arm. No, I got a weapon. How about that? That's what you do for killing Willem Dafoe's character. He was a friend of his. Now, I don't know if the beginning of the film needed the whole bit where we see, like, it seems like he dies and stuff. I don't know if you need that whole beginning. And then, 1 week earlier, or whatever the time frame was. I forget what the time frame was. They more, I don't know if you needed that. But I think that's another nitpick. It's a lot of films do that where, we gotta start off with something either exciting or something, well, not scary, but something that made you go, what? What's going on? I get it, it's to hook the audience in initially. Like in this case, at the beginning, oh wait, is he dying? Like, what happened? What led up to that? And now it comes full circle. That's how he got wounded. That's how he got to be in that place. And that's how he got to falling on the side wounded. But also, I guess by this point, we've seen what kind of guy this is and what kind of boogeyman he is. You're just going, nah, that's not going to be that's not going to be how it ends. And despite what Chad Stahelski thinks on wanting to do that to John Wick, hopefully, it seems like Keanu Reeves is the opposite. And he feels it would be nice to see him go out into the sunset. So maybe it's one of those where Keanu Reeves can help convince the director. Or will it be one of those things like he's such a nice guy? He's like, okay, Chad, you're the boss. Two things, like Keanu. Number one, say no to a script. Knock knock, replicas, some of the other stuff, like, say no. And number two, change Chad's mind. Also, number three, do the voice of Shadow in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I think that'd be pretty cool. Come on, Shadow being voiced by John Wick. Come on. Get that to Keanu Reeves and make him an offer he can't refuse. Come on now. I mean, he did a voice in Toy Story 4. I think he did a voice in the DC Super Pets movie thing. I think. And he got a new dog. Which they did not kill off this dog, so. And it comes full circle. He lost a dog, he got a dog. He kicked a lot of ass, took a lot of names, killed over 70 people, and so, like this ending here, let's go home. He goes home. What's wrong with that? Chad Stahelski? Technically, that's walking off to the sunset there. There's always a way. It's a movie. I mean, it's like, well, look at all the people he killed. It's a movie, dude. These films are not realistic. No one's going into the John Wick films thinking of realism. They're not. It's escapism. There's a difference. But yeah, John Wick, that I remember seeing in the theater as I sit through this, and the memories come back to me, enjoying it, being satisfied. and getting a kick out of it and going, man, that was a damn good movie. I think I even remember saying to myself, oh, I can't wait to get this on Blu-ray and watch it again. Just like now. So still great movie. Damn good. And started a damn good franchise. And I hope, Chad, don't screw it up, man. Don't screw it up. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care. Great job, Keanu. Great to see you come back. Hope John Wick 4 doesn't disappoint. And we'll see. Rest in peace, Michael Nyqvist. Did a wonderful job as the villain. Nice supporting cast. Lance Reddick, Willem Dafoe, Ian McShane, Dean Winters. I want to say even like Kevin Nash had an appearance. I think it's David Patrick Kelly. John Leguizamo. Which he does come back for the second film for a fun bit. And yeah. There you go. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.